We typically, during the week, will go on a date night Thursdays. And so when Valentine's comes around, we like to include the kids. So we'll do a fancy dinner at home.
Chip and Joanna Gaines, the beloved couple who turned small-town homes into national dreams, have built an empire on faith, family, and farmhouse charm. From their hit HGTV show Fixer Upper to their Magnolia network, they've become symbols of love, simplicity, and wholesome living. But behind that perfect image, something shocking has just been uncovered. Something that has fans around the world asking one chilling question. What exactly is going on inside the Gaines home? Moments ago, reports began circulating online about an unexpected discovery in the basement of Chip and Joanna's Waco property, a place few have ever seen, not even during their reality TV reign. What was found there has left investigators, neighbors, and even longtime friends stunned. While details remain scarce, early accounts suggest it's something that could change the way fans see the Gaines family forever. For years, Chip and Joanna seemed untouchable, a couple who defied Hollywood scandals and stayed true to their roots. But as more information surfaces, fans are beginning to realize that even America's favorite couple might have secrets buried deeper than anyone imagined. Was this just a misunderstanding? A hidden project gone wrong? Or is there something much darker behind the Magnolia empire? What the authorities and insiders are revealing will leave you speechless. And once you hear what was found in that basement, you'll never look at the Gaines family the same way again. It started like any other quiet morning in Waco, Texas. The sun rose over the familiar silos of Magnolia Market, and locals went about their day as they always did. But within hours, the town was buzzing with whispers. Law enforcement vehicles were seen near the property belonging to Chip and Joanna Gaines, the very couple who had put Waco on the national map. According to early reports, maintenance workers were conducting routine updates on the Gaines home, the very farmhouse featured in many of their shows, when they stumbled upon a sealed-off door in the basement. For years, the space had been thought to be fully renovated, part of Joanna's famous rustic chic aesthetic. But when contractors noticed an unusual hollow sound behind one of the walls, curiosity took over. What they uncovered next would send shockwaves through the entire community. Hidden behind layers of drywall and old wood paneling was a concealed passageway leading to a deeper, previously unknown section of the basement. The air inside was stale, untouched for years, maybe decades. Local authorities were soon called to inspect the site after workers reported something strange within the space. The Waco Police Department arrived quietly, trying to avoid unnecessary attention, but it was too late. Word spread fast, and soon, media vans began parking along the quiet country road leading to the Gaines's property. Witnesses described seeing officers entering the basement with gloves, flashlights, and evidence boxes. A few hours later, Chip and Joanna were spotted arriving at the house, visibly tense and escorted by what appeared to be private security. Neighbors, many of whom had known the couple for years, couldn't believe what they were hearing. "They're the last people you'd ever expect something like this to happen to," one local told reporters. "They've always been so kind, so generous. Everyone loves them here." Speculation began to swirl online almost immediately. Some fans believed it might have been part of a secret renovation project. Others thought it could be an old structure from when the property was first built. But as investigators remained silent, and the area around the home was cordoned off, theories grew darker. Social media erupted with questions. Why was there a hidden room? Why was it sealed? And why hadn't the Gaines ever mentioned it during their extensive renovations? By evening, major news outlets had picked up the story, and online forums were flooded with wild speculation, ranging from lost family artifacts to something far more sinister. Through it all, Chip and Joanna remained silent, releasing no public statements. For the first time in their career, the famously open couple, who had shared their entire lives with fans, seemed to be hiding something. The peaceful world they'd built was beginning to crack, and the discovery beneath their home was only the beginning. What investigators found next would not only shock Waco, but leave an irreversible mark on the Gaines legacy. As investigators began carefully exploring the hidden section of Chip and Joanna Gaines's basement, what they found sent chills down their spines. The passageway, dusty and narrow, led to a small underground chamber sealed away from the rest of the home. It was clear this space hadn't been touched in years. Cobwebs hung thick in the corners. The air was heavy with the smell of age and decay, and faint remnants of an older construction style suggested the room might predate the Gaines's ownership entirely. Initial reports from those close to the investigation hinted that the room appeared to have been intentionally hidden. The walls were reinforced, and one even contained layers of old insulation and mismatched paneling meant to disguise its presence. But what truly shocked officials wasn't the room itself. It was what they found inside. Sources say that among the dust and debris were dozens of antique items, some dating back nearly a century. Rusted tools, fragments of wooden furniture, and several sealed metal containers lined one corner. When investigators pried open the containers, they reportedly discovered personal belongings, journals, letters, and faded photographs that appeared to belong to the property's earliest owners. But the strangest discovery came from a small wooden chest placed at the center of the room. Inside were several objects wrapped in aged cloth, including what appeared to be relics tied to local history and possibly even evidence of forgotten crimes from decades ago. The chest's contents have not been fully disclosed, but insiders suggest it may be connected to a dark chapter in Waco's past that few residents remember. When Chip and Joanna were informed of what had been found, sources close to the couple say they were absolutely devastated. The Gaineses purchased their farmhouse with the dream of restoring it, never imagining that something like this could be buried beneath it. Soon after, the area was sealed off, and the Waco police requested additional historical experts to help piece together the origins of the discovery. Meanwhile, media speculation reached a fever pitch. Some claimed it was part of a lost Prohibition-era smuggling tunnel. Others suggested the items were remnants from a local tragedy, long buried under generations of silence. Throughout it all, Chip and Joanna remained visibly shaken. Their publicist released a short statement saying only, "The Gaines family is cooperating fully with authorities as they work to understand the history of their property." Fans around the world flooded social media with messages of support, but also concern. How could something so horrifying exist beneath the home of America's most wholesome couple? As details continued to emerge, one thing became clear. The discovery wasn't just an eerie coincidence. It had deep historical ties to Waco itself, and what came next would forever alter how people saw the Magnolia Empire. As investigators and local historians joined forces to analyze the findings beneath the Gaines property, a clearer picture began to emerge, one that painted Waco's past in a whole new light. What had first seemed like a disturbing mystery was quickly revealed to be something deeply historical, and, in many ways, hauntingly beautiful. The letters, photographs, and journals discovered in the sealed containers were traced back to the late 1800s, long before the farmhouse ever belonged to Chip and Joanna. They appeared to belong to the original settlers of the land, a family who had lived through droughts, economic hardship, and one of Texas's most challenging eras. The journals described their struggles to keep the land alive, to build something meaningful out of nothing but dirt and hope. Among the artifacts was a small, weathered Bible with a handwritten note tucked inside. The message read, "To whoever finds this home, may you build with love where we once built with faith." The words struck an emotional chord with Joanna, who reportedly broke down when she read them. "It's like they were speaking directly to us," she told a close friend. Experts determined that the hidden basement had once served as a shelter, a place of safety during harsh storms and possibly during periods of local unrest. Over time, as generations passed and the land changed hands, the lower chamber was sealed off and forgotten. What had been interpreted as something sinister was, in truth, a silent witness to history. As the story spread, what had begun as panic turned into awe. Fans from around the country expressed admiration for how Chip and Joanna handled the discovery with transparency and grace. Instead of hiding what was found, they chose to preserve it, inviting historians to document and protect the artifacts. In a later interview, Chip said, "We thought we were restoring an old farmhouse, but it turns out the house was restoring us. It reminded us that everything we build stands on someone else's dream." Soon after, The couple announced plans to create a small exhibit at Magnolia Market to honor the family whose belongings were found beneath their home. They hoped to display the letters and photos, alongside a plaque bearing that handwritten message of faith. What began as a frightening rumor had evolved into a story about connection, between generations, between builders and dreamers, and between past and present. The horrifying discovery that once had fans fearing the worst turned out to be a testament to endurance, love, and the roots that make every home sacred. And yet, as experts continued their research, one final box remained unopened, one that would soon reveal something even more personal, something that tied the past and present together in a way no one expected. When historians and the Gaines family gathered to open the final sealed box found in the basement, the air in the room was thick with emotion. After weeks of investigation and countless sleepless nights, this last container represented the final unanswered question about the home's forgotten past. The box itself was small and fragile, bound with a strip of cracked leather and sealed with an old metal clasp. As Joanna gently brushed away the dust and lifted the lid, the room fell silent. Inside lay a collection of handwritten letters, a child's locket, and a carefully folded piece of parchment that seemed older than anything else they had found. At the top of the parchment were the words, "To the future keepers of this home." The message was astonishingly heartfelt. It was written by a woman named Eleanor Whitmore, who had lived on the land in the late 1800s. She described how her family had built the home with their own hands, enduring hardships that nearly broke them. She spoke of losing her husband to illness, of raising her children through drought and poverty, and of finding hope and faith when the world felt hopeless. Her final words brought tears to everyone in the room. "We built this home not just with wood and nails, but with love and prayer. If you find this message, know that we prayed for you, that your family would find peace where ours once found struggle. Keep this place alive with kindness." Chip, who had been quiet through most of the discovery, looked visibly moved. "It's amazing," he said softly. "She built this place for her family. We've just been continuing her story." Joanna later shared that moment with her fans, saying that it reminded her why she fell in love with restoring homes in the first place. Because every wall, every beam, and every floorboard tells a story. "We thought we were uncovering the past," she said, "but the past was waiting to remind us what really matters: family, faith, and legacy." The Gaines family decided not only to preserve the letters and artifacts, but to dedicate a section of their property as a historical site. With the help of local historians, they created a small memorial honoring the Whitmore family, the pioneers, who once called the land home. The story of the horrifying discovery quickly transformed into one of the most inspiring tales ever connected to Magnolia. What began as fear became faith, and what started as mystery became a reminder that every home holds more than memories. It holds the spirit of those who built it. In the months that followed, fans from across the country visited the display at Magnolia Market to read Eleanor's letter and see the locket she left behind. Many described feeling a deep sense of peace, as if the message she wrote over a century ago was meant for them too. Chip and Joanna often say they still feel that presence in their home, not as something haunting, but as something holy. A whisper from the past that continues to bless the future.